All right, we'll start off in Cuero. Look at that cloud deck building up as that moisture moves up from the Gulf out of the southeast. Warm, moist air. That warm air helps some things happen again today, and that's temperature-wise. Look at that. Within 2 degrees of a record, 3 degrees shy of 90. Yesterday we hit 89 degrees, so very much on the warm side. We're watching all these trucks slide on icy, snowy roads up to the north, and here we are making away in 90-degree heat. Gotta love it here in the middle of the winter. Maybe some of you don't. All right, here's our temperatures. So we got knocked down just a little bit, but we're still going to stay, depending on further away from the water, a little cooler, closer to the water, a little bit warmer. Overnight lows 55 to 65, highs during the day 75 to 85. That's really the plan, or the pattern that we're staying with pretty much right through the rest of the week. There's not a sign really of a major cool down as of yet. I don't want to jinx us. As I say, we just have a little winter left in us. Now, dew points. That boundary's kind of hanging out and kind of stalling. You see where it is there. Those dew points go from the 40s to the mid-60s to the 70s, just like that. But I don't think this boundary is going to push all the way through. It's going to kind of back off a little bit, maybe even change its properties and move back as a warm front. Going to continue to pull moisture up. As that moisture collides, we're seeing that cloud deck, all those clouds out there. But really, there's opposing forces kind of slowing down rain progression. So the most is really we're going to see clouds or that fog at the low level. So that warm air is pushing in, and yeah, we're seeing that sea fog once again. Visibility's getting taken down to a quarter of a mile or less in some spots. So you want to drive on the safer and the slower side. Okay, so maybe it hangs around the coast, but even inland, until about 9 in the morning, we're looking at that fog. And the winds helping out with that. The winds have now diminished after close to 50-mile-per-hour winds a couple nights ago. Here we are just at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That is a perfect opportunity with the fog to go in there and do its thing. All right, I showed you the boundary a second ago where some of those dew points were in the 40s, then right over to the 60s. That boundary is kind of hanging out a little bit. I'm going to back off. That moisture will continue to move in right out ahead of the boundary. Again, colliding with one another, creating lift and developing the clouds. That cloud deck we see here. But again, opposing forces pushing down, dry air in the mid-upper levels. That is allowing for a cap, a lid on the atmosphere, and really slowing down the progression of rain. Now, eventually this boundary will back off, but there's another boundary we're tracking and should be here in a couple days. That might trigger some showers, might bring a little bit of cooler air our way as well. But here's our future tracker. Here's what we're looking at. The moisture and the clouds moving into one another, creating that lift, looking at a few scattered showers, but really it's just, again, as I say, scattered, a lot of wide open areas, not even seeing an inkling of any rain. Here's our marine forecast. Bays on the smooth side, seas occasionally at 6 feet, and overnight 67, looking at overnight fog into the morning. And then for tomorrow, right around 80 degrees. A little gusty, though, winds up to 20 miles per hour. Looking ahead for Cuero, as I said, we're pushing, look at Wednesday, up to 87 degrees, so pushing 90 again next week. And for Port Lavaca, temperatures mid to upper 70s. And then right back here in Victoria, we were pushing 90 for 2 days in a row. Now we'll stay right around 80 pretty much the rest of the week with a mix of some clouds and some sun.